Good morning and thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be here. Before I go into my prepared remarks, I thought I would touch on the events of last week. Okay, I was going to wonder if all of you knew, but so our intentions were to put out a rule which we thought would clarify our processes, but obviously it did not. So we withdrew the rule. And candidly, we have no intention of ever doing anything or talking about it ever again. So you don't have to. So we might disagree with the interpretation, but that doesn't really matter. It's pretty obviously veterans were concerned. We take that seriously, and that's what we did. Now, this has led to a lot of self-reflection, which I will share, and some of that has to do with better collaboration, and there's probably more to follow with you all, and better communication. We got that one pretty clear. But I do want to share a disappointment with you all. And many were quick to point out or assert or do it very subtly that we would use a rule like that to cut benefits. And that's really very disappointing. That is incredibly disappointing because if you look at our words and our actions, we would never do that. Both Secretary Collins and I were asked pointedly at our confirmation hearing about that, and we said, no, we would never do that. We would never, ever do that. And we are very proud, and I'll talk more about this in a minute, that in our first year in office, we have processed more disability claims. We have granted more disability than ever in such a short period of time. And so in that sense, we were just disappointed. And so we value your partnership. We welcome where you disagree with us, in part because we know you're special partners and we agree on so much together. So please don't speculate on our position about cutting benefits when our actions are so clear. And just to kind of build on your remarks, sir, we were also very disappointed in the Washington Post article. And last fall, when Secretary Collins would speak about this, one of the most powerful lines he had, which always drew applause from veterans and non-veterans alike, was, "Veterans don't get benefits, they earn benefits." We understand. We understand. Okay, so thank you. So let me spend a few minutes describing what VA's been doing, where we're headed, and some of the things in 2026 that I think will touch on your work later this week, assuming there's no snow. When President Trump arrived, he charged Secretary Collins with a simple, powerful mission: take great care of our veterans. And that's exactly what we've been doing, taking great care of veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors. Today at the VA, the veteran is the mission, and the mission is the veteran. And to accomplish that, Secretary Collins gave us 6 priorities. First, put veterans at the center of everything we do, and that's our guiding principle. I'm hoping you've heard him say that once or twice. Second, give veterans not just access, but timely access to care and benefits. Third, give veterans choice in health care. Fourth, challenge the status quo. Always ask why, and don't settle for the same old, we've always done it this way. Fifth, celebrate and empower employees to do a great job and hold them accountable, to include leaders. Every organization needs people who see problems and fix them, and we must empower our people to make things better rather than choke them with a bunch of bureaucratic red tape. And finally, Secretary Collins told us we must do a lot better job reaching veterans, especially those at risk of suicide and those who are falling into homelessness. So, a year later, in a month, how have we done? Well, under President Trump's leadership, we have transformed VA, solving problems that have persisted for decades. And here's a few accomplishments over the last year. As I indicated, we've reduced the backlog by 60%. This month, we drove the backlog of disability claims consistently under 100,000. That's the lowest it's been in 5 years. In 2025, we processed 3 million veterans' disability claims. So let's put this in perspective. When President Trump arrived, the disability claims backlog was 265,000, and this morning it was 98,000. Okay? We processed 3 million claims. Thank you. The average days to complete was 140, and it's now 80. We processed 3 million claims, breaking the record that they broke last year of 2.5 million. But I want you to do a little math with me. 3 million is 20% higher than 2.5 million. We processed more claims, significantly more claims, and here's the dirty little secret, with fewer people. How is that possible? Our explanation is simple: better management. And that's what's going on at VA. We've opened 33 new healthcare clinics, expanding veterans care around the country and bringing more care and convenience to our veterans and closer to home. That number, by the way, will continue to increase. Since President Trump was inaugurated, VA has offered almost 2 million appointments outside normal operating hours. These early morning, evening, and weekend appointments give veterans more timely and convenient care options. We've eliminated the backlog for veterans' families waiting for health care, CHAMP VA. We've accelerated the deployment of our new electronic health record after the program was dormant for almost 2 years. More on that in just a minute. And last year, we permanently housed almost 52,000 homeless veterans across the country, the highest in 7 years. We've transformed VA from being a bureaucratic organization to a service organization where veterans come first in everything we do. We're making VA benefits better, faster, and easier to use than ever before. Looking forward to the remainder of 2026, let me tell you about 3 important initiatives. First, our electronic health record, or EHRM, as you see talked about. It's underway after being paused longer than it should have. This year, we'll deploy the new electronic health record in 13 VA medical centers, in addition to the 6 that are already. And since, by law, as well as through appointment, the Deputy Secretary of the VA is in charge of the electronic health record modernization, I can tell you a little bit about it. Spoiler alert, on April 11th, we will go live in 4 sites in Michigan. This will be the first time in almost 3 years we've done this, okay? Yeah. It's a shame, this is a big deal. We should have been doing this all along. But I could use your help, especially when you're up on the Hill this week, when everyone says, oh, EHRM, blah, 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 disaster, blah, 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 big mess, blah, 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 not going to happen. Turn and say, I heard from the Deputy Secretary on Sunday that he will guarantee we will go live on April 11th as promised. And we will do that in April. We will do that in June when we bring on the sites in Ohio. We will do that in August when we bring on the sites in Indiana. And we will do that in October when we finish out Cleveland and Anchorage, who were put together that way by order of medicine, not geography. And then we'll continue for the rest of our time together until we get every VA facility on the new electronic health record by 2031. That is our intention, and that is what we're going to do. Second, we're transforming VHA. We're reforming VHA to better serve veterans and eliminate shortcomings that have plagued our bureaucracy for years. Everyone's written about it, GAO, IG, we're doing something about it. This restructuring began earlier this year and will probably take 18 to 24 months to complete it. It's built to last, designed to support our employees and improve timeliness and the quality of care for our veterans. Under this reorganization, the central office will be accountable for policy, governance, and strategy. 3 operating centers will oversee enterprise care and policy implementation, and will reduce the number of visits from 18 to 5. We are not reducing employees, we are moving some of the management layers away, causing interference, and getting more people to deliver care. Through this restructuring, our staff will benefit from less bureaucracy, clearer direction, and have more time to focus on veterans' care. And third, we've released a request for proposal for new community care contracts. These contracts are designed to provide veterans with more choice by allowing multiple national and regional health plans to compete to serve them, improve the quality of care for veterans, better address their medical conditions, and maximize their health and wellness. Improve our ability to provide oversight of community care, increase contract flexibility to adjust health plans and contract requirements to better ensure accountability by the providers. Secretary Collins has been clear on this. VA has learned a lot about community care over the years, and we're putting that knowledge to use to help veterans. This RFP will result in contracts that dramatically improve our ability to provide quality health care while ensuring veterans can choose the care that's best for them. Now, before coming here today, I had a chance to look over your critical policy goals. I think they're all good and worthy goals, and I'd like to touch on two of them. The first, to make the claims and appeals process work better for veterans, is near and dear to my heart. It was when I was honored to serve as the Undersecretary for Benefits in the first Trump administration, and it is even more so now as VA's Deputy Secretary. And we're making progress by collaborating with the Department of War, DOW, to ensure that the official military personnel files and service treatment records are provided on the same day a disability claim is filed. An initiative we're currently under intense discussions with DOW. We call it Day Zero Records, and our goal is to significantly accelerate the claims process and eliminate delays. So let's kind of do some math, and I know you're really good at this process, right? If the average days to complete is 80 days, and we're spending about 50 trying to find the records, you can see what will happen if we have Day Zero records. So when you talk to your members and staff this week, and they ask, what can we do? Yes, as you point out in your independent budget, it'd be great to have more money for technology, right? But here's time that we can eliminate almost immediately if we can get these records. And sometimes it just takes a push from a member or staffer to remind DOW why these records matter. That would be a real help to us, so thank you. On your fifth policy goal, to modernize and strengthen benefits for survivors, this is something I focused on when I first came to VBA in 2018, and it's important to me. It's very, very important to Secretary Collins. Both us and VBA remain committed to finding new opportunities to modernize processing and improve delivery of benefits for survivors. VA is leveraging technology to reduce processing time for DIC claims, and we're getting better. Again, when President Trump was inaugurated, the average days to complete a DIC claim was more than 163 days. Now we're doing them in less than 80. One of the most important ways you can help us streamline survivor benefits is by helping and encouraging those who file claims to submit a completed claim form and death certificates that include the cause of death. VBA tells us that if a DIC claim form is filled out completely, and here's the key part, and neatly if you handwrite it, and you get us a death certificate that shows the cause of death is related to the veteran's service, we can process those claims very quickly. I've seen them processed in seconds when I've done some homework, but I can tell you in the last year, over 4,000 DIC claims have been granted within 7 days if they meet those features. Thank you. Yeah, technology is pretty awesome, but neat handwriting really helps, okay? We strongly encourage veterans to use va.gov and quick submit to submit claims electronically, which further expedite the process. Now, that said, I do want to remind everyone here why it's so special for me to come and talk with you and spend time with DAV. Shortly after I became Undersecretary in 2018, Undersecretary of Benefits, the late Gary Augustine invited me to DAV's headquarters here in Washington. When I arrived, and I'll never forget this, Gary had assembled a room full of DAV leaders and experts to meet with me. I spent 2 hours receiving an invaluable education. That day provided me with an important understanding of what DAV does, how you do it, especially the training, why it is of interest to VA to keep working with you all, and the scope of the remarkable positive impact your work is having on veterans around the country. I also still remember standing with you at the American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial in 2019 on the 5th anniversary of the memorial's dedication. 2 times that previous year, I had helped wash the walls of that awe-inspiring monument to service and sacrifice. A memorial that probably would not have been built without the assistance and support of DAV and Art Wilson, your national adjutant in the mid-1990s. A photograph from one of those Saturday mornings hangs in my office today. It will always take our partnership and teamwork to serve disabled veterans and all veterans as well as they've served us. So before I close, let me make a couple acknowledgments. Commander Cole Neal, thank you for the invitation to join you this morning. More importantly, thank you for your service in the Marines and your leadership of this great organization. National Adjutant Barry Jazinkowski and Executive Directors Van Boxel and Marzalak, thank you for being here. And finally, National Service Director John Kleindienst. John, thank you for all the work you do partnering with VA on adaptive sports events. The Veterans Winter Sports Clinic and the Golf Clinic, exceptional events that are so important to the veterans who participate. I want to reiterate that everything we do at VA is part of our determined effort to follow Secretary Collins' guidance and make sure that all veterans are at the center of all we are doing. You can help by sharing with us what you see and hear. If you know of a veteran struggling, please let us know. We're working on ending homelessness. Regardless of what you see in the movies or reading books, it's not cool, it's not sexy, it's very dangerous, and we know that. And I know you do a wonderful job of helping, but I would just leave you with this. If you have your phone out or a piece of paper, our homeless hotline, if you call this number anytime you see somebody you think is homeless, we'll come get them, 877-424-3838. If you have that in your phone, awesome. If you do, share it with somebody. Because I know many people ask me when I come to a stoplight and I see somebody with a cardboard sign that says homeless vet, what do I do? You can call this number and we'll come figure out if they are homeless and try to get them benefits, and you can see where they're going. Ideally, we'll get them back on the path, and one day they'll be members of DAV. And that number again is 877-424-3838. No harm, no foul. If they're not a veteran, we'll send them on their way and connect them with county resources. But if they are, and it's not just at lights, they hang out in the back of 7-Elevens, in the back of McDonald's. We can get them. We have the resources. The hard part is finding them, and we can really use your help. And the last thing, which is sort of ironic, I'm assuming you figured out that Secretary Collins is very active on social media. He's very active on Twitter. I use LinkedIn only. He's active on many things. We read the comments. It's always good to share stuff. Many of the things outside the snarky stuff, which is understandable, points us in directions, and I will share to you a lot of the noise that I picked up on what was wrong with Chant VA. I observed in some of the comments I was getting on social media, and they were right, and we went and fixed that. So stuff like that really does matter. So we welcome the opportunities of improvement, as our friends at GAO would say, as well as good stories, so we can remind people of, by and large, the many good things that happen to our veterans. So, in conclusion, please use your time here in DC this week well. There are many folks on the Hill who maybe are not aware of what we're doing together to best serve veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors. Please let them know. Working together is the best way we honor the men and women who have borne the battle for our great nation. Have a great